How's it going, guys? Anxious Cynic back again with another Mine-imator tutorial. So another question I've gotten asked, I think on more than one occasion, is how to do a pulling the bowstring back animation. Now, we're going to go ahead and get this out of the way. This is going to be the default way to do it if you're using what Mine-imator provides. Now, to do an actual pulling the bow back animation, to my knowledge, you would have to use a custom bow rig so that the string could be animated. But Mine-imator, being the way that it is, by default, doesn't have any such bow. So what I'm going to show you is just how to do this the basic default way with a little bit of camera trickery within Mine-imator. And then maybe in the future, if you guys want to see it, I will find a bow rig or try to make my own, and then we'll do an update on a more advanced rig way of doing it where you can actually show Steve pulling the string back. But for now, we're going to do it in a little bit more of a, I guess you might say, a complicated way, at least as far as the animation goes, and see what we can make it look like. So what we have here is Steve, and he's got a target. And for some reason, I guess he wants to be a jerk and shoot the target. So that's unfortunate for the target, but it's got to happen. So what we're going to do is have Steve, he's going to lift his arm. So what I want to do with this, by the way, is kind of go through the steps of how this would be done from beginning to end. So this may end up being kind of long, but I just want to give you guys the full treatment to see how we would do something like this. Now, I have the bow backwards because I feel like that's the most realistic way to hold it. Obviously, that doesn't look good and it's going to cause us more work in animation, but I don't know. I just chose to do it that way. All right, so what we're going to do is have that happen. He's going to lift his arm up. We're not going to worry about making this animation here look too delicious or anything. Just trying to make things happen. So we'll just kind of go through this. All right, so we'll do that, and then let's bring this back, and around this point we're gonna have his right arm come up. He's gonna have to pull the string back, right? So we're gonna come up like this, and let's also have this kind of come in, and we'll just sort of make the bow come around a little bit. I'm actually making keyframes on the wrong thing there, so that's good. That's a real good thing. We have to go on there. All right. So basically, his arm, it needs to actually, I would think, tilt outward. So what we're going to do is have this happen, and we're going to use this parameter. So you got to kind of finesse it in here, and we're going to take the bow and have it churn. And of course, because my custom rotation point is not ideal, we're going to have to do something like that. All right, so let's just kind of get it where we want it to be, and this is a little bit difficult to work with. The blocky Steve, he's not too forgiving when it comes to working with things close to his body. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and bend this, and let's tilt his arm something like this, and maybe the bow's a little bit too churned, so let's do something like that. That looks okay, I guess. Something like that. All right, so there he goes. He's got that whole thing going on. Doop, doop, doop. Grabs it and pulls it to him. It's not very good. Not the greatest thing ever, but hey, something like that. All right. Let's do this, and let's give these transition just so it doesn't look too wonky. There we go. Yoop. Actually, let's have this. Why am I focusing on this? I don't know. Okay, here we go. All right, so at this point, might be where Steve is gonna start to, pull the string back a bit. So what we're gonna do is get him positioned like this. And let's go ahead and actually edit his position here so that we don't have to do too much work with it. He's gonna be already facing the thing there, the target. Let's give him a little bit more relaxed position. This has nothing to do with what we're doing, but I'm just doing it for some reason. All right, so let's give him about number 1 degree bend there. All right, so there we go. It goes like this. He's like, I'm gonna shoot that target, man. Let's actually, there. He's looking at it, He goes, give me that thing back there, something. Why is that there? Get rid of you. Hey, yeah. He pulls it back. All right. So now that we got it set up, at this point, this is where things are going to get a little bit tricky. Because what we actually need to happen is he's going to sit there for a bit, and then we need to replace the bow with the other versions of the bow. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and spawn all of those in, which you have this one. I'm going to go ahead and create that, and then we're going to create the next one, and then the last one, which would be this one right here. All right, so what I'm going to do is take, if I can see what I'm doing here, take all these and parent them to the left arm just as the other bow is. I'm going to take this one and name it bow 1. All right, so this looks kind of complicated, I'm sure, but it is what it is. For now, we're just going to have to work with it. I'm going to select all these keyframes and we're going to make them invisible, or actually except for this one for now because we want to position it. Where is it? Where is ya? Hang on. Here we go. All right. So what we got to do is, instead of, I would like to change the rotation point here, but instead of doing that, I want to try to keep this simple. So what I'm going to do is try to work with it as is so that we can hopefully copy this for all of our bows. So let's go ahead and, what I did is highlighted all of these keyframes. So I'm hoping that all of these adjustments are going to apply to every single one of them, and that way we won't have to edit them independently. We basically want it to point in the same direction as the other. And unfortunately, the methods that we're having to use here are not making that very easy for us. Here we go. Now we're getting to a similar look as the other one. My goodness. It doesn't have to be 100% exact, but you definitely want it to be pretty close, man. Just go ahead and set these up. Something like this. Right about there. So it's not exact, but it's pretty close. Let's see if our other ones followed in step. Please? No. Okay, so they're apparently not 100% universal here. So we're gonna have to do this for each one, which is awesome. But at least the position is mainly the only thing that's messed up. The rotation points are pretty close to where we want them, so we're gonna hope that that works out. Here we go. Once again, if we did a rig, this would be much easier once the rig has been built anyway. For now, I'm just trying to show you guys kind of how you would do it within Mine-imator with no additional assets. That's all that we're trying to show here. So what we're going to do is make all these invisible now that we've got them lined up. And so what's going to happen here is Steve's going to he's going to pull it back, going to wait a little bit, and then right around here, we're going to make this one become visible. and this one become invisible. So it changes like that. And then we'll go a little ways and we'll make this one become invisible and this one become visible. And then a little ways again and make the next one visible and this one invisible. Something like that. So what happens is it just changes. Doop, doop, doop. And each time we're going to have the right arm change with it. So we're going to do this and we're going to set this to an instant keyframe. We're going to go ahead and do it for... I keep clicking the wrong one. Where's the right arm? Here we go. Let's go ahead and set the right arm to an instant keyframe. We're going to put this here and it's going to stay an instant keyframe. And each time the bow changes, we're going to have Steve's arm change with it to keep up with our string thing that's going on here. So you got that one. Let's hope that this will be easy for us to do. Seems like his arm's getting kind of cramped up here. Once again, if you're doing this yourself, then you may be able to position things a little better. Just trying to cover it for you guys to give you the ideas so that you can become better than me. All right. So there we go. Doop, doop, doop. Something like that. Maybe on this one we'll actually turn this a bit so that it comes in and kind of keeps going in that direction. Something like that. Maybe this one, if we can, pull it up just a tad. Something. All right. Let's hope that works out. And then it changes. So you can see the progression as he pulls the bow back, but obviously you wouldn't want this to play out just like that in your animation. And of course, I didn't do anything like where he would grab an arrow and put in it. We're just going to go with that. So you could easily, have an arrow thing on his back or something and he reaches back and grabs it. If you watch my beginner's guide series, then you should have all the tools and assets you need to make something as simple as that happen. All right, what we're going to do now is use our camera to show all this stuff happen. All right, so let's go ahead and click this button up here to bring our camera into the fray. Let's go ahead and turn on rendering so we can see all the deliciousness that's going on. All right, so let's actually have the camera come in here. Let's just do a little bit of fanciness. Maybe right about there. Yeah, we'll leave it like that. And we'll just have it come in a little bit. So it just, Steve's pulling his bow up. Everything's awesome. And then, let's say this one, let's go ahead and make it an instant keyframe. Let's go on to the next one. And then we'll show Steve from here. And he's all just, just waiting, just trying to figure out what he's going to do next. And then here we're going to show the target. And then we're going to come back and we're going to show Steve like this. All right. And then we might show the target again. Maybe we're getting a little closer this time, hey, this target, there's something up with this thing. Something's not right with our target here. And then we're going to cut back when he changes. Notice that I'm putting these keyframes in line with the changes. So, we may have to work on that, but it's going to be something. So we're going to want to keep our bow position in frame here. We definitely want to see the work that we put in. And then we're going to go ahead and do another change. He's looking at the bullseye, man. He just can't wait, man. He's after it. He wants to nail it. So basically, if you only watch this, let's see how this works out. It's super, super fast. Just so this is just an example, guys. So bear that in mind. Let's turn the tempo down just to see if we can make that work a little bit better. Here we go. He pulls it out. He's like, I'm gonna shoot you. Target. Look at me, I got an arrow. This plays out way too fast. Sorry, I'm trying to keep the video quick though. Like this is gonna go on way longer than it should. Sorry. But as you can see, basically what happens here is each time it comes back to him, we take a break from him, we show the target, and every time we cut back, the bow is back a little bit further, right? So this way you can have him drawing the bow back, so to speak, and covering it up by introducing another subject into the scene that you can cut away to, right? Like if he's looking at a sheep or something, you might zoom in on the sheep's face, getting closer each shot, and getting closer to Steve each shot as he draws the bow back, however you want to go about that. And then maybe have him fire, you know? I don't really know. I wasn't really sure if we should cover that this tutorial, but let's just see what we can do real quick. Let's bring in an arrow and let's collapse this. We got this. Let's go ahead and name it arrow. And where did it put it? Way out in the middle of nowhere for some reason. Here we go. Let's go ahead and give this a custom rotation point, about 8. Let's do something like this. And one of the cool things about the arrow here is we might actually be able to use that transition for our benefit because it's supposed to happen rather quickly. So maybe we'll see if this works. We'll try it real quick. It'll go back to the other one, so we'll see. So let's have this here, and let's have it be invisible. And so he's looking at it for a second, and then we're gonna have this collapse like stairs. All right, we'll see if that works. Let's get rid of you. I need this one, this one, this one, and then this one. All right, and then at this point, this one will become visible, this one will become visible, this one becomes visible. So you notice like what's happening here is each frame, one of these becomes visible, and at that point, we want the last one to become invisible again. Sorry if I'm not explaining this correctly, but if you just pay attention to the steps that I'm taking, then it should be good to go. And at this point, let's just have his arm kind of go down, his right arm, just so we can see what's going on here. And then at this point, doop, 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 that is where we will have the arrow come out, and it will hopefully be close enough. Once again, you can position it however you like, get things perfect, but for now we're just going to go through the steps of how you would technically do it. All right, so we got that. The arrow goes, and let's just have it kind of go up a little bit and over, because I think we're shooting at a slight angle due to the way we did things here. Like that, and then it sticks in, something like that. All right, and let's just see how terrible that looks. That goes way too fast. I mean, slow. Doop. All right, so this isn't ideal. You know, generally, I would probably use the same method to shoot the bow as I did with showing him pulling the string back, which is using camera angle cuts to hide that. But if you wanted to do it, like if I raise the tempo up, one of the reasons it doesn't look good is because of the tempo. So just say for this instance, we're going to use the original tempo. So that is to say, you actually made this scene with good timing, unlike what I did. So see that? Like it looks a lot better now that it's faster. You can kind of get this idea that it's flinging out, and his arm is still set to instant. So let's go ahead and turn that down. There we go. Boom. he lets it go and it just boom, it just flies, man. Look at it go. And of course, at this point, when the arrow crosses the screen here, we would want to cut to this, and we'll show, let's get a slight zoomed angle, and it goes boing, and there it is. The arrow shoots into the thing there, and all is right with the world. Oh my god. So there you go. This isn't gonna look good because I got it in the fast thing again. But each time, oh my god, that is horrible. I apologize that this wasn't smoother, but I just, you know, just trying to get the steps done. So that's how you can do it though. Just like again, within Mine-imator. I will hopefully revisit this relatively soon with a rigged version that will be much, much better. But I just wanted to cover the basics of how you could do it without having to worry about building or making or downloading a rig of some sort. And yeah, you can totally do it. You just got to be creative with your camera angles and do a little finessing with the positions of the bows and things like that. It's not ideal. It's not the way I would want to do it if I wanted to, you know, make an animation like this, but it's the most basic like possible way to do it within Mine-imator. So that's it. We're good. Shoot that and he shoots it and everything is wonderful, you know? Anyway, that's it for me. Sorry for dragging out the outro. Thanks for watching. Hope it was helpful. And I will see you in the next video.